Welcome to the Journeyman Cave, a podcast where we meet and chat with some of boxing's most seasoned road warriors, hosted by Mark Shakespeare and Chris Scarfe.
Welcome back to the Journeyman Cave, everybody. This is the second part of the Andrew Paddy Patterson episode, so we'll not keep you for too long. We know we want to just crack on and get stuck into the second part. Just want to remind you, we don't do this every episode, but please subscribe to the show wherever you listen to it. If you see us on our Instagram or Facebook or whatever, give us a like, give us a share. It all helps. We love, our audience, our fans, because I think, I don't know about you, Shek, but I think they're, I don't know about dedicated, but or loyal. I don't know what word would you use?
Passionate, mate. Passionate.
That's the word.
I'd say passionate and love the sport, and they're really enjoying hearing it from the other side.
I think so.
Which is great. And like you said, we're only small, but we are growing slowly, like we always say. And I think most of these people listen to it, really do enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the hope anyway.
Yeah, we do hope so anyway.
So, yeah, if you do enjoy the show, if you can afford a few quid or whatever, you're more than welcome to go to our link tree, which is all in all as bios. Chuck us enough for a pint or a coffee. If you're feeling flush, buy a T-shirt. We're not asking for anything for nothing. This all helps on his little, travels that we go on now and again. Because sadly, not everybody can come to us. And that'd be a bit lazy on our part as well, wouldn't it?
No, but it's like you said, if we want a few listeners and fans buying us cups of coffee and pints like for yourself, I don't think the Birmingham trip would have happened this year, mate.
No. So we said we wouldn't keep them long, didn't we? So let's go and finish off Paddy's episode with part 2.
And then we had 2 points losses to Phil Fury as well, mate.
No, the first one, Bethnal Green.
Yeah,
he came. Yes, fucking Bethnal bastard Green. I mean, I was well up for the fight. I remember Len was taking me on the pads, and I was hitting them quite sharp, as sharp as I could. And I felt I was up for it. I was ready, and then he come in heavy. You come in about 11 pound heavy, I think it was something.
That's
like
a lot.
It's a hell of a lot, right? You come in quite a lot heavier. We complained. We got a few extra quid. They weren't bothered. Do you know what I mean? They didn't give a shit. It was a Mick Hennessy promotion. I think it was on Channel 5. I think it was it wouldn't have been shown, but I think it was a Mick Hennessy promotion. I think Tyson Fury was there, but he wasn't fighting. I think he could have. I don't think it was televised. Anyway, I remember going out there and he was doing that job. When you're swinging your right arm round and you jab with the left.
Yeah.
He was doing that. He couldn't miss me. He couldn't miss me. He was putting his elbows on the ropes, waiting for me to come trotting in, jab me and move. He outboxed the bollocks out of me, and I was flat as a pancake. I warmed up, and I was fucking game as fuck. And once that bell went, the life just fell out of me. And it's something to do with Bethnal. I don't know if it's because that's where John Wayne Hibbard stopped me, and it was a bit of a, I don't know. Or maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe Phil Fury was a good lad, young and fresh, and I just had a rough week at work. It could have been anything, you know. But no, awful performance by me. Good performance by Phil. We boxed again on the Tyson Fury undercard when Terry Carruthers beat
tough
Chris
man is Carruthers.
Oh, what a man.
What a tough man.
See, I forget to mention his name because I don't see him as
a tough man.
I don't see him as a prospect.
Terry.
I don't see him as a journeyman. I see him as a prospect because he fucked me. I remember his record was 6-6-6. Oh, yeah. Well, what a record that is. At one point, when he was trained by Errol and come to work with John Pegg, and we'd sparred round and he was fast. But I think he beat Chris Eubank Jr. that night.
That were on Channel 5. And you know what? That were a barn brawler.
He was brilliant, and I thought Terry beat him. And I mean, Chris Eubank, excuse the accent, but I'm going to try and do it anyway. We didn't expect such a spirited Carruthers. Something like that. Some shit like that. So, sorry, Chris. But no, he was hilarious.
He's just comparing that one with Alistair Warren, because Alistair Warren did Chris Eubank for us.
He did as well.
So he'll do a vote later on to see who does better.
But no, do you know what? I lost. I don't mind losing that one on points. So yeah,
for your decent effort.
And I had thank you. So Phil Fury, that fight afterwards, he said that was a much better 6 round. That was a 6 rounder. That was a much better 6 rounder, and I come to win that one. But there's a picture taken on a decent camera, actually. There's a picture of me standing there. There's a little Channel 5 logo there, and I've got this great big long fucking hair growing off my shoulder, and the light's bouncing off it perfect. And it was my Facebook profile picture for a bit. And ever since then, I've always thought, fucking hell, I need to make sure I shout. So whenever I've got my hair cut before a fight now, I always pull my shirt down at the back and say, you couldn't just trim them couple of hairs there, could you? You get them few little stray stragglers.
Brilliant.
But so I always do that now for that reason.
Well, this is my bit of favourite part of interviews I like to do, mate, because after Phil Fury, we had a good little run, which we've already mentioned and touched on this already. We mentioned Nicky Jarman, haven't we?
Mickey Jarman, good, yeah.
But also in this run you had a draw with Matty Doyle, who we said were tough. Yeah,
excellent. Real good mover, strong as fuck, come forward. And I just met him there. Yeah. I didn't have to go looking for him, whereas that's where I struggle with some fighters. They can hit and move and that. And he didn't really hit and move, so he hit and stayed. So he was, once I felt him land one, I knew he was in range, so I'd try to fire 2 back. And that's kind of how it went. It was backwards and forwards. And I think John Latham was the ref, and he afterwards he said what a fucking fight it was. And yeah, Matt Doyle, great fight that was. One of my favourite fights.
Yeah, one that stands out for you.
One that I remember. I mean, out of 50 of them, I can remember them all. When you mention the names, I could tell you a little bit about every fight when you remind me. But that's a standout fight for me. The crowd were quite hostile, but they booed me on the way in, cheered me on the way out.
That proves you're a cracking job.
His friends must have been slightly different to Danny Gale's friends, because fuck me, I thought I was going to get killed.
Was that Ellen Road as well then, Doyle?
That was Ellen Road, yeah, it was.
I assumed it might have been. And then also you stopped, he says here you retired Joe Collins.
No, that was on a Ricky Hatton promotion. That was Hatton TV.
Nice one
that
to
was
do it
on YouTube. That fight was on YouTube, but I've tried to get in touch with Ricky Hatton and Nigel, someone, I forget his name, who used to do the guy with the moustache.
Yeah.
Who used to do the presenting for Hatton TV. I want to try and get that fight. He was a good lad. I had that. I broke his nose. He was a nose injury, he's a nasal injury, and afterwards I remember Lenny being in my corner, being proud. I think Richie was in my corner for that one as well.
Richie Woodall?
I think he was. I think Richie and Len was in my corner for that one. So I think John Pegg may have been the matchmaker for that, and that's why he wasn't in my corner.
Yeah.
But that happened a couple of times. Richie and Lenny both in my corner against Matt Walsh. Was it Matt Walsh? That was in Leicester. That was after a day's digging. That was a funny story. I was digging
after a day digging.
I was digging a footing. I was digging holes with my mate Keith, and I had this white vest on, so you can imagine. Fucking, I was covered. I was digging through the clay. It was all over me, fucking all over my face. I was filthy. So I hadn't eaten. I'd been having a good sweat on, it was the summer, it was warm anyway. I remember getting there, I got on the scales, and he said, this kid, this handsome lad, out of nowhere, he says, fuck me, you been at work? I said, yeah, I've been at work, and that, and I kind of ignored him a little bit. I'm on the scales, and I made weight, no problem. I said, I'm fucking fucked, to be honest. And I said, and he said, who are you fighting? I said, I think I'm fighting you. I said, you'll have an easy night, you will. And anyway, it was, they wanted 6-2s. They wanted to try and rush me for 2 minutes and get back to the corner, come out 2 minutes, back to the corner. But I said, nah, I want, it was meant to be 4-3s. I prefer the 3-minute range, you see. That last minute, the prospect will come out, they'll try and kill you for 2 minutes, and then they'll kind of take the foot off the gas. And that's where the punches have bounced off me, and I haven't really been affected by them. And then I have that last minute. That's usually mine. So if you count it all out, so it ends up 8-4 if you do it in minutes terms, you know what I mean? They beat me 8-4. So I remember going out there and I was saying, they were like, no, we won 6-2s, and I was like, no, we won it 4-3s. And I felt like I give him a decent. He beat me. Yeah. I'm happy with the fact that he beat me, but I thought it was, I thought it made it difficult for him, and then there was a bit of a backwards and forwards on Facebook after, saying no, I said, when you put a fucking your prospect through hell, and then they don't give you the, I don't think they give me a round, to be fair. And then he kind of bit back saying, no, this, I beat you fair and square. I said, yeah, I know you did. I'd always say when I've been beaten, I've got no problem being beaten. You know what I mean? I'm not a boxer. I don't give a fuck. So. Yeah, Matt. Well, I remember that, and his nickname was Batman.
Nice.
Yeah, his nickname was Batman, and I quite like that. And I thought, yeah, and I've always liked Batman as well. So I couldn't really dislike him, to be fair. And his brother, Lester Walsh, was a decent journeyman.
Right.
So try to have a look into him. He's fought everybody too.
We'll
Lester
definitely
Walsh.
look at that,
Make a note.
Well, we're going from that good run you had there, mate. I've got 3 fights down here, and you got stopped by TK in all 3 of them, but I like to mention them. First, I will start with James Flint.
What was the 3 fights that you...
The 3 fights I've got with your good run. We have Matty Doyle.
Oh, yeah.
Nicky Gemman, we mentioned
that's
earlier.
Right, and Joe Collins, yeah.
And Joe Collins, we've just been mentioning. And then I've got James Flint, lost TKO.
Tremendous fighter.
Yeah.
From Coventry, real good lad, switch hitter, back and forth, you know what I mean? Good lad. I think I'm not sure if he'd held a title at this point or whether he went on to fight a guy, I can't remember his name. Ben something, I forget. One of Carl Greaves' fighters, I think. Anyway, James Flynn, it was an 8-2s at Aston Wood Golf Centre, Golf Club or something, and it was, what's his name, Pat Cowdell show. Pat Cowdell show. And I think I've been at work all day or something that had been a rough week. Anyway, I remember he stopped me with it. It was a great shot. He hit me and things went a little bit black, but I'll come back to fight and the ref said no. But it was a good one. And then afterwards, I remember saying to James Flynn, and we have spoke since, I remember saying afterwards, like, you know, when the photographers, go on, get in, get your arms around each other and all this fun. I said, smile, James. He said, I can't. So yeah, he was, you know, are we doing like grumpy faces or are we smiling or what? He said, I can't smile. And then there was a guy in his corner, Louis Davis, who was a boxer as well, at the same stable as us. He's from Coventry Way. He went on to be a bodybuilder with his twin brother Reece. Yeah, nice couple of lads as well. That was in his corner, and he like went over to him and like we touched gloves sort of thing, you know. Like, and he was giving fair play. Do you know what I mean? Because people knew, people in the game knew that. Like I said, I keep saying it, but like no one's listening. I'm no boxer really. I kind of learnt on the job. I learnt the hard way, and when you kind of go the distance, or you nearly do the distance, or you put a good show on, people remember that. Yeah. You know, promoters want to use you again. Fellow boxers respect you and things like that. Like I respect a lot. You know, everyone who has put a good fight on and not come out with the best result. But I mean, someone like Steve Spence. I mean, we'll get to him. But yeah, Steve Spence, what a fucking bloke he is. Yeah.
And obviously another one, mate, as well, after that, Tommy Coyle you went in with.
No, I got a phone call 10:30 that morning, 10:30 that morning to go and fight Tommy Coyle. It was the 11th of January, Doncaster Dome. It was on the undercard of Stephen Jamoye versus Jamie or Gavin McDonnell. Decent fight. My mate, D. Mitchell, who was a gym pal, he fought Glenn Foot. And what a fucking handful. And I thought that D did enough. Certainly did enough to nullify Glenn Foot, because Glenn Foot was a banger. And to be fair, so was D. D could punch. His arms were that bit longer than everyone else's, and he could get you when you thought you was out of range and that sort of thing. But yeah, that was a good fight, and we was a floater. Me and Tommy was. It was the very, very end of the fight. And bear in mind, I was hungover. So fucking drunk. so drunk. I remember speaking to Frank Maloney. He said, what you weighing? I said, I'm heavy. I said, I'm about 11.5 stone. He said, you're 10 stone 12 now, Paddy. I said, so no problem. So I'm standing on the scales and that, and he's lifting me up by my elbow. As soon as the thing hit 10 stone 12, there you go, son. Off you go. I remember going up to the change rooms. It was freezing, January. Freezing cold. It was in a fucking, I don't know, I think it was in some tiny little toilet. There was, the hand blowers. Yeah. D. Mitchell had a hand blower down his fucking top, trying to keep warm. He was taking it in turns, and his hand blower trying to keep warm. We fought last. It was gone midnight. I remember walking out there thinking, fucking, I'm tired now. It's gone midnight, knackered, hungover all fucking day long. I remember going out into the ring, and everyone's saying to me, you got to watch Tommy. He's a dirty fighter. We were kind of getting there with his head, his shoulders were getting there, doing all this. So I remember, I was about 19 pounds heavier than him, to be honest, but he come in and he was only little. I thought, fucking hell. Be all right. Yeah. I remember we spoke on Facebook, I think it was our 10-year anniversary or something. I put a picture of me and him on, and he said, I remember looking across the ring thinking, fuck me, you're big. And I commented underneath saying, I remember looking across the ring thinking, fuck me, I'm still drunk. Right? So, but yeah, first round, his corner, Steve Smith was his corner man, I believe, and he was saying, go to him, Tommy, go to him. And to be fair, Tommy was peppering the fuck out of me. I didn't think he could punch that hard.
A few said that about him.
Yeah, but, he was correct.
Yes.
So don't get me wrong.
Accurate.
Fucking he was accurate. That's the
word.
Accurate, because I can never say it right. He's correct. And he was peppering me with these shots and things like that. I remember I hit him with his shot and he sagged against the ropes. I thought, fuck, I've got him. And I never went after him. John Pegg goes, good to him, you got him. And I just didn't. I thought he'd gone, to be fair. So they could have called that a knockdown, to be fair. And I don't know if he actually went down. And then another time I got him against it. I forget now. But anyway, the first couple of rounds, get to him, Tommy, get to him, his cornerman was saying. And then I think after I kind of wobbled him a little bit, his cornerman was saying, just get on the back foot, Tommy, get on the back foot. You know what I mean? I remember bits and little snippets of it, and he got his hand raised and, there was an interview afterwards saying that he kind of wasn't prepared. He probably not took me lightly because it was a short notice fight sort of thing. But I think he saw the record and he kind of underestimated me a little bit. And I was strong and I went at him. I had a good row, and I think that's probably made him. I think he'd said something like it made him improve in the way that he wouldn't underestimate anyone again.
And you wobbled him as well, mate. Well done.
I did, yeah. I mean, he's not going to say that I did, but I did. And he was against the ropes.
As I moved on from that one, mate, and you're a good old win here, mate. Danny Clues, TKO.
Now, let me tell you this. A lot of people have always said, oh, Paddy, you're a good lad. You're the Birmingham brawler, Birmingham battler, value for money, this and this. You give everyone their big day. These prospects, you give everyone their debut, or, you kind of make everyone shine sort of thing. You put them in good fights and everything like that. This kid outboxed me. First bell to the last bell, pretty much, right to the last minute. Rob Chalmers was a referee, and he was in my corner. Anyway, he was dancing around me, hit me with every uppercut he threw. He couldn't miss me. I was just going after him. I was just, I was trying to cut the ring off, but really I was just stepping in the way of him, and I was just getting caught. I was just giving him a target, to be fair. Danny Clues, good kid, skillful kid. And I hit him with one, and I don't know whether he stayed hit or, I know he was definitely in the corner, and I just threw a barrage of punches. I just didn't stop, and the ref jumped in and stopped it. And I thought, well, I'll have that. And you could see there's a picture of me with my hand raised, the referee raising my hand. I think it was Sean Messer. And you can see John Pegg's face in the background, kind of like, that sort of face, as if to say, yeah, fair enough, sort of thing. Or maybe, it's our turn that we had a bit of luck.
Yeah.
But to be fair, if Danny Clues is listening, he beat me every second of every round, apart from that last minute of the last round where I caught him with a good shot and they just threw everything at him. Whereas, I probably had a bit more ambition then. Whereas if I'd have done that in other fights, I might have had better results more often. But whereas, I'm still learning. Yeah. I don't know what fight that was. I don't know how far into my career that was, halfway through, whatever, but still learning. Still learning now, and I've retired.
Yeah, definitely. We never. Sorry, mate. We never stopped learning. That's for sure.
No, surely.
And then we ended up finding a kid called Leo Findlay on his debut.
Right, I pissed off about that one. I remember getting there. I remember in the morning, I woke up, I was starving. I had a bowl of Weetabix, and I was heavy. So I remember getting in the ring, and I was getting on the scale. Sorry, I was heavy. I think he come in a little bit light as well. But I was 11 something. They said, we want you to skip it off, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And I was fucked. And I was just like, nah, I'm not going to do it. So the promoter says, we're going to take some money off you. I said, whatever. I ain't bothered. I remember going out there, weren't feeling it at all. And he's threw a load of punches and I was just catching them. Some of them are landing. I was throwing a few shots back. The ref jumped in, stopped the fight. I was pissed off. This happened a couple of times. I was fucking fuming. And then in the middle of the ring, the promoter kind of said to me, we'll give you your full purse. So obviously the promoter wasn't happy with the fact that I was stopped so early. And that's why they didn't take the money off me. Yeah. So even though, I got 28 days for the stop it, I had to have 28 days off because I got stopped. I didn't take any punishment. I got all the money for the fight that I was supposed to get. And it's just another one of them things. Okay, fight back then. Just because you can take it doesn't mean you have to. Yeah. Which is, like I said, still learning. And the same thing happened against who the fuck was it?
So that sounded a bit.
Danny Aaron's.
Aaron's.
Yeah, that same thing happened there as well. Yeah, that was in Peterborough.
Yeah,
bastard place.
Didn't like that one either, then, mate.
No, I didn't like that one, but I had a good result in Peterborough when I beat JJ Bird. Beat JJ Bird on points.
Got it here, look. I ain't spelled Peterborough right, like. Well,
No, it was a shit, but you've missed that one. Oh, no, you haven't.
No,
your page over. No, sorry. So,
good win. That probably one of your best wins.
JJ Bird?
Yeah.
Fucking too right it was. I'd never... Like I keep saying it. Boxing weren't my thing. JJ Bird was a good boxer. He boxed in good company. I think, Steve O'Meara, people like good company, And my ex-girlfriend, my eldest son's mum, Claire, she really fancied this guy. He was on Big Brother. Come fourth in Big Brother, JJ Bird.
I didn't know that.
Right, well, there you go. So she fancied him. Big, tall, blonde, handsome lad. And I thought, I'm going to beat this kid. His corner, Don Charles and Spencer Oliver.
So he had some good people
and
in
this
that
goes
corner.
on to the other fight I have at Peterborough. So I had, so I thought there's no way I want to lose to this guy. I jump on the scales. I'll come in a bit light. I'll come in under, I think it was meant to be like 10 stone 10, something like that. I probably come in at 10 stone 9. So a little bit light, but I was ready. Fuck me, I was trained for this one. I knew this is... Even though I knew I had fights coming up in the past, I didn't train for it, but I trained for this guy because my ex really fancied him, and I thought I've just got to smash him.
I think you would, wouldn't you, though?
You've got to, haven't you?
Yeah,
haven't you? Because I haven't got a nasty bone in my body, really. I'm not a bad guy. Even with boxing, I think if I had a bit more spite in me, like when I have kind of turned it on in the ring, I've had better results or not lost as bad. That sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I was fucking fuming. So we come in. He jumped on the scales, and I think he come in over a stone heavier than me. I was a bit light, but he come in. I think there's a stone disparity, or whatever the word is, 13 pounds, something like that. Anyway, I think he thought that I was going to pull out.
Oh yeah.
So I said to the board official, I think it was Les Potts. I think Les Potts was the board official. I said we want more money, so they've gone in to speak to him. They come out and it says he doesn't want the fight. I think he was expecting me to pull out or something, but I thought if he's coming heavy, he's not trained. Or if he's coming, or he's fleshy around, or John Peck said he's fleshy around the waist, you know what I mean? So I thought, I want to fight this fucker anyway. So he's come out and he said he doesn't want to fight and he doesn't want to give you any more money. And I was gloved up. Get these fucking gloves off me. I was fuming, right? So they said, hold on, we'll go and sort it. So they went, spoke to him, they come back out, they said, okay, fight's back on, you got an extra 300 quid. Well, sound, no problem. Spencer Oliver knew I was fuming for this. Anyway, we go out, this was on Hatton TV as well, which is another fight that disappeared off the internet, along with that Joe Collins one, unfortunately. Something to do with Hatton TV. Anyway, first round, he's kind of come out boxing, and then I've just fucking unloaded on him. I thought, I remember John saying to me, don't wait. Because while I'm waiting and thinking about what I'm doing, I'm getting pinged, I'm getting hit. If I'm going to get hit anyway, why don't I just get hitting them? So it's all starting to make a bit more sense now. So I put it on him. I did everything but stop him. At the end of the fight, they give it me. He run over to the ref, Jeff Hines, and he give Jeff his hand to raise. And that's when you didn't have to wait until the end. The ref would lift your arm straight away. Right. Do you know what I mean? Did you ever see that? No, the ref used to just go over and raise the guy's hand straight away at the final bell to who he fought. But now they go back to the corner and then they announce it in the middle of the ring. Because a lot of the time prospects will run over and give him the glove to raise, and sometimes in the thick of it all when his crowd's going mad and this and this and this. So there's the odd dubious decision. Anyway, he offered Jeff Hines his hand to raise. Jeff just brushed it off. Come and raise mine. Because I thought I was going to get stitched up. And he raised mine. I thought, fucking brilliant. I thought beat him. Fucking battered him. And I was buzzing. And they said there was a write-up which I can't find. And they said, there's nothing pretty. They said, JJ Bird's a pretty boxer. And he was a handsome kid as well, but pretty boxer, good on his feet. And they said, but there's nothing pretty about Patterson. And I was just marching forward and through everything. Fucking. And then afterwards, Spencer Oliver said, he said, you all right? I said, yeah, I was fucking fuming. Mate. And then I went on to fight another one of his fighters at Peterborough, Danny Aaron's, down the line. He said, how you feeling today, Patterson? I said, I'm in a good mood today. He said, thank fuck. And I ended up getting stopped in that fight. Yeah. So, so it does go to show, if I've got a bit of needle in me or, I can turn it on when I wanted to, but I never wanted to. I didn't give a shit. I ain't got boxing in my family. I haven't got a fan base who I'm letting down. I haven't got nothing like that. It's only the wages. Yeah. So I didn't... I mean, I had to try to a degree, or I sort of got flattened.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And my toughness got me so far. My fitness got me, my fitness got me so far. My toughness got me that little bit further. But if I'd have just kept on my diet, like everybody told me, don't drink so much, don't eat pizza. Kerry Kay's did like a thing at the gym, like a nutrition thing. Ricky Hatton's nutritionist, he come to the gym and he was going, Paddy, he says, who struggles with the weight sort of thing? And I says, me. And he said, what's your favourite food? I said, pizza. He said, it's the worst thing. Yeah. It's the worst thing. I remember one day before a fight, I forget which fight it was, my son used to come over on a Friday and he wanted, Dad, can we have pizza? I think I'm fighting tomorrow. Dad, can we have pizza? Yeah. And he was only young at the time, 6 or 7, something like that. So I'm chewing pizza, maybe a little bit older. I'm chewing the pizza and I'm spitting it into the bin, chewing it, spitting it into the bin. I was gutted. I was almost in tears, chewing, spitting. And then I have 2 laxatives, fucking big glass of water and go to bed. That was my diet tips. You know what I mean? What the fuck? That was my... And then on top of a load of really, really slow runs on the treadmill, all wrapped up. And just tapping the bags. I wasn't learning to move my head. I wasn't learning to catch and count. So I wasn't learning to none of them things. Just learning, not even learning, just little ways of getting my weight down so I could get paid and go on to the next.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, really. Looking back now, that's the one regret I have about boxing. Not doing the weight right and not training properly. There's a couple of other little bits and pieces, but that's the main one, the diet. So any young kids listening who
that's the main one we get.
The diet is the main thing. It doesn't matter how good you are, how tough you are. If you don't get your diet right, you're fucked.
Yeah.
At least get it 75% right. Don't just eat, chew up pizza, spit it out and have 2 laxatives before you get to bed, because that won't work. Because then the next day, when you are fighting, you've got your belly's empty, you have your food, you get on the scales, you make weight, you have your food, you have your water, and then all you want to do then is shit.
Yeah.
So before you're going into the ring, your fucking arsehole's on fire. You know what I mean? You've dehydrated yourself, fucking diarrhea all over the place. But this is bad. It wasn't bad management, because if John Pegg knew I was doing that, or Lenny knew I was doing that, they'd have gone mad.
Yeah.
To be fair, they probably did, but there was no stopping me, because I used to turn up at the gym. I used to do an hour before anyone even got there. Then when they turn up, listen, I've got to go. Something's come up. I've got the kids. I can't spar. I've got to do this, got to do that. And I'll be out the door. But like every night, I remember staying at the gym once and I was doing some sit-ups with all the lads, with all the rest of my gym friends. I was doing sit-ups, and I remember Dave Egan, handsome Dave Egan from the Black Country. He looked over and said, fucking hell, he said, what are you doing here? Because I was never there. I was never there. It wasn't like a team. It wasn't a team effort for me.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. I was a one-man army sort of thing. I thought I knew best.
Yeah. That's not wrong with that, mate. But moving on from that fight, mate, we had 3 cracking fighters I've got here. We'll start off with losing on points to Liam Taylor.
Now, right, I didn't realise that Liam Taylor was as good as he was until his name come up. He was fighting on some show, and I thought, that name rings a bell. So I went back through my box rec. I thought a guy Liam Vaughan, and I thought Liam Smith. I was thinking, Liam, there's another Liam somewhere, and I thought Liam Taylor rings a bell. And I boxed him, I dropped him, and I forget where it was, but they didn't call it. They called it a slip. But I had an interview with Jane Couch afterwards, and they were just saying like, it was me, John Pegg, Jane Couch, and she was saying, oh, Paddy, you're at it again. I had 2 black eyes, probably fighting the week before as well. I was all bruised up and all this one. And John says, we had a knockdown that weren't scored and all this one. But it's just standard. Yeah. I didn't expect it to be scored. If it's not convincing knockdown, so we should have said, you're never going to get them things. It's a slip, it's this, it's that, whatever. I weren't bothered. I was just like, well, okay, on to the next.
Did you have Liam Smith?
Yes. Now, what happened was I was meant to fight a few times against a guy called Rob Hunt, who had made my 50th and final pro fight against. He was a big, tall lad. I've been training for him. A couple of times he'd pulled out for whatever reason, this and that. I don't think he was worried about me. He was a decent lad, to be fair, but they said he's not a very big puncher, this Rob Smith. So Rob Hunt, we'll go back to that later. So we'd had a couple of fights pull out. I've been running a wheelbarrow up and down this steep hill all week. My legs were killing. I was running the compo up in wheelbarrows, running the bricks up in wheelbarrows. My legs were fucking shake. When you sit down for the shit and your legs shake, that's what they were doing. Just sitting there like just normal. My legs were fucked. John Peggs phoned me up. Paddy, we got a fight for you. I said, yeah, okay. How much? He says, don't you want to know who it is? I said, when is it? He said, Friday. Don't you want to know who it is? And I said, oh, go on then. He said, I don't blame you if you don't take it. I said, I couldn't give a fuck. I'm not bothered. Who is it? He said, Liam Smith. I said, I'm a fan of his brother, Paul. I said, yeah, I'll fight him, whatever. I didn't really know much about Liam Smith at the time, but I was a fan of Paul. I saw him on the Contender on ITV4 that was on, and I've watched him. I watched Paul fight a few times, and I thought, yeah, fuck it, I might get to meet Paul. That was my thinking behind it all. Anyway, they said, when is it? They said on Friday. He was in, I think it was in Newport, Wales. I think it was Wales. Anyway, the card didn't sell very well, I don't think. Anyway, I remember going out there, my legs were fucked on the way into even just like, my legs were shaky and they were just like that. And I knew that Liam was a handful. I think he'd already had a draw against Terry Carruthers. So he was quite early on in Liam's career. I knew I was up against it. I knew this kid had all the fundamentals. I knew this was definitely the biggest name. No, sorry, not the biggest name, but the biggest fear factor to a degree. I thought, fuck me, this kid, shit. Here we go. But I'm taking it, so I don't give a fuck. Anyway, I remember walking to the ring thinking, I don't really fancy this. Bob Williams was the referee, and he come out and he was uppercut, body shot, this and this, and I was thinking, fuck me, he's good, he's sharp. And his punches felt different. Instead of it being like a snap, it was like a thud. Dum, dum. I was thinking, bollocks. I've only felt that for a couple of fighters, that Damon Jones, who was Southpaw, one of Frank Warren's lads, and who else had it? Joe Lovell was another good lad. He had like a thud, like a dum. I can't play. Cello Renda was a lad I used to spar once in a while. Big puncher. He had it as well. But you only come across fighters who had this sort of thud once in a while, and Liam Smith was one. I thought, oh, bollocks, here we go. You caught me a couple of times and he hit me with a body shot, and it sounded worse than it was. It was probably more of not a slap to the elbow, because this kid was so correct and so precise with his punches. And it sounded loud. I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a knee, have a little break, because I was under fire. So I took a knee and I got back up and I had a go at him. And John Pegg was like, oh, fucking hell, fair play to you. I had to go for a few shots back. But looking back at all Liam's fights now, he likes to take a few as well. And he's smiling at me, and I thought, fuck me, is that what it's like when someone hits you and you smile at them? Because I always do that to everyone. I thought, bastard. Do you know what I mean? And I just thought, yeah, I'm really completely outgunned here. Completely outclassed, outskilled, out everything. This kid, I mean, Liam Smith, he went on to be great, didn't he? And he still is. I follow his career. I think, Liam's a great lad. And he hit me with another body shot, and it was a bit worse than the one before. So exactly the same spot. I think it started with I think it was a jab, uppercut, then one to the body, and I thought, fucking hell. So I took a knee. And then I think there was another body shot, and I don't think it landed particularly hard, but it was loud. And I just thought, fuck, I don't really need this. And Bob Williams stopped it, and I thought, do you know what? I had to go. I did the best I could today. I couldn't, say if I was to fight him now, the way I'm feeling today, and the way he is today, I'd probably do a couple of rounds with him, no problem. But I don't know if it was a first round stoppage or early in the second round, I forget. But it just depended on how I felt that day. Like today, I could probably take them punches for a couple of rounds. Yeah. That day, I didn't have it in me, which was a shame, really, because, like say, Terry wasn't a big puncher, but he went the distance. He went the distance and held Liam to a draw. So I thought that I had a little bit of faith in my head. Oh, maybe I could get a points loss out of this or something like that. But Liam was something else. Yeah, real good. Even early on, I don't know if he was like 8-0, 10-0 then, or something like that. I don't know. He was early on in his career, good. And then, of course, he's gone on to be brilliant, hasn't he? World champion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly. And you never see him in a dull fight. Terry Carruthers went the distance and drew with Liam Smith. And then I think Terry got robbed by Eubank. Not by Eubank, but because, in the Eubank fight. I was pleased for Terry in that sense, because Terry's a friend of mine, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I thought, brilliant, fair play, Tez. Do you know what I mean? So even my loss, even when I lost to Liam, I thought of Terry, thinking, fair play, Terry. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So we'll move on from that then, mate. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. We got the old Road Warrior belt, the old British Masters against Steve Spence.
Right then.
Come on. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while.
The kid's fucking something else. I mean, I got the poster here. Yeah. John Pegg was like, we're going to get two Road Warriors together. We're going to have a war. So I said, fuck it, yeah, why not? So there was a show on at the in Digbeth, just round in Birmingham, and They wanted us to go nose to nose. I was there watching my teammates fighting. Is that HMV, something or other? Anyway, there was a show on, and he was fighting a guy, Nazar Al-Harbi, I think his name was. Good lad, real good lad. I get on well with his dad. And he was fighting him. So they got us in the ring to do a nose to nose. And he was fucking pushing his head up against mine and all that one. I was pissed. I was thinking, fucking hell, chill out, Steve. You know what I mean? It's only for the photograph. But I thought, this kid wants this. He really wants it. This was our world title. Now, this was getting to the stage where I wasn't particularly... I'm not going to take anything from Steve here, but I was getting to the stage now where the drinking was getting to me a little bit, and I wasn't really trying. John Pegg says, "We got these 4 years for the British Masters. This is your world title. You know better than a Midlands title." He didn't say it like that, but that's how it was. Like, he says, if you win a Midlands area title, that's your world title. That's your limit. Anything after that, like you come into it too late. She said, "But this is a winnable fight. He's a decent lad. He's got losses, but he's coming. He's going to come for you." And all I did was basically, I didn't even train for him. I just trained to get my weight down. And he was a middleweight. Look, I mean, you look at the poster, look at the size of him, and he was massive on the night. He didn't make weight first go. I think he was 11.2. I made weight. I think I was 11 stone. And I struggled to get to 11 stone. And I'm a welterweight, do you know what I mean? But like I said, my diet was all over the place. I was drinking a lot. I remember I was on the treadmill that day of the weigh-in. And then we're going up there, and he didn't make weight, and then he had to go and skip it off, and he made weight. And then when there's a picture of us, and we was holding the belt between us, and he was half trying to snatch it, and I thought, fuck me, this kid's really, really keen. And I just didn't feel keen. Like, it was just another fight to me, albeit a 10-rounder. It was just another fight to me. I was thinking, why can't I get up for this fight? Why can't I get up for it? Like, and it's because boxing's not in my blood. I don't care about it. I don't care for it. It was a bit of pocket money for me and for the kids and things like that. Which, looking back now, I'd probably, I think if me and Spence was to roll it back now and do it again, I would train for him because I know what he's all about. But I thought, well, I'll be all right. I remember I did 8 or 9 rounds on the bounce, sparring for it, and I was fucked afterwards. And that's all the training I did. I trained for him on a treadmill. How'd you train for a 10-rounder on a treadmill? I was just a fucking idiot. But listen, I'm taking nothing away from Steve Spence. I remember getting in there, and it was just double jab backhand I was throwing. Double jab backhand. It's all I could do. Like the Paddy Farrell, who had the amateur gym that was kind of in conjunction with the gym that I was training at. He's going, double jab backhand, Paddy. And that's all I kept doing. That's all I kept doing, like, trying to stop him coming forward. But of course, Steve was like me, but the weight above. He's been hit by everybody and rarely stopped. I don't know his record off the top of my head. Rarely stopped. Strong lad. So basically, I was a lazy welterweight going up in weight. He was a big middleweight coming down. We met at 11 stone. It was too strong for me in the later rounds. And he hit me in the 10th round, and he went black. I was on my feet. He went a bit black, and then as I come to, I was coming forward to fight him. And Sean Messer just jumped in between us, and it was probably the right decision. At the time, I was a bit gutted, you know what I mean? I fucking cried. But what a fight. People were saying to Steve, come out for a drink, And he was going, fuck that. I'm going to bed. Do you know what I mean? I've just done 10 rounds in this nutcase.
He said he knew you were going to keep coming. He says you were going to keep coming, and he says, I just tried my hardest to get him out there. He says, I knew he just kept coming and coming. His
punches weren't bothering me, but they were sharper than... His punches felt sharper than my punches dished out.
Well, he said he knew that you'd be there at the end, and he had to try and get you out of there with everything. Yeah. So that makes him wonder why you were up for that, and he must have known how tough you were. I mean, that's credit to you with that.
I was up for it in the sense that people were there watching me. That's what... Otherwise, I think if it had been in a small hall show in a 6-rounder, I might have been stopped in the second. The fact that you went to the 10th round was because I had family there and friends and stuff like that. But it's mad really, because I could have done so much better with my career, but I just couldn't be bothered. The fact is I couldn't be bothered. It was the easiest money I've ever made. You go to work, Steve Spence even said to me, we speak regularly. I say regularly, as regular as you do on Facebook, you know what I mean? If there's a thread, we'll get chatting about some shit or something. But he said he was a bricklayer, and he said, I knew you was going to be tough because you was a labourer, hod carrier. He said, I knew you was going to be fit, I knew you was going to be tough. And I knew that he was a bricklayer, so I fucking didn't like him straight away because I ain't so keen on bricklayers. Do you know what I mean? I've been hard carrying for 20 odd years. I've only met a couple that I liked, to be fair. But yeah, great fight, and I'm buzzing that he won. I'm buzzing that he won because he cared more about it than I did. You know, fair play to, you know, Tommy Owen, Top Promotion, putting that show on. That was his first ever promotion, and he's going from strength to strength now. He's got a show coming up the road from me, like a prize fighter tournament. He's got a couple of journeymen on it. Michael Mooney, shout out to Michael Mooney.
Oh, yeah.
Solid lad. I've done, you know, when he was first turning pro, I did a few rounds with him with the guy he was training with called Mark Wall. And yeah, Michael Mooney, he's a good lad. He's
I need
done.
a signed glove off Mooney.
Yeah, get one. He's a real nice lad. You know, ginger, fiery. Fuck it. I remember I've got to call him out on this one. We met at the gym once to do some sparring. You know, we'll get some rounds in. It was a Sunday morning. Something like that. And he was using his missus's car, and she had a small car, purple in colour or something like that. The car had eyelashes, remember them?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Remember when cars had eyelashes on? The fucking things. And I was going, Mooney, what the fuck? And he was like, see, it's my missus's. And I was like, you
that
know,
old chestnut.
I won't do that. I said I won't say nothing. Well, it was a long time ago now. It was probably 10 years ago, so yeah, I'm saying it. So
It's coming out now, mate. It's out.
It's all out. There you go.
But yeah, cracking fight, mate.
And the undercard the undercard, Tommy Langford, who went on to be British champion, didn't he? And he did Sullivan Mason, who was a real good fighter from the stable. Sam Eggington, he was only a couple of fights in at the time. Don Broadhurst was on the card.
Fighter.
Don Broadhurst was on the card. Great fighter. And he, for some reason, I don't know what it was, he never fought on the card. But I saw a clip of him just recently sparring some of the younger lads down at Gilmore's gym in Solihull. Shout out to Paul Gilmore. Don was sparring with these young lads, and he's still looking fresh as ever.
Yeah.
You know, moving, great movement, switching, tapping away. You know, brilliant. Yeah, good to see Don smiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with his gloves on.
I think we're friends on Facebook, and I like to follow his story. But it's good, that, mate.
Yeah, if you see that clip, have a look at that. It's a good one.
We will do, mate. So moving on from that one, you had Paddy Gallagher, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Lost TKO.
Here's another one who had one of them punches, that thud.
Yes.
That like an electric shock, like. You know, like you ever touched the cattle fence?
Yeah, when I was a kid, yeah.
Then, you know, and your dad says, go and touch that. Hey. And you're fishing, go and touch that fence, see if it's live. And I'm, what do you mean, Dad? Boom. And you get that bump. That's what his punches were like. And to be fair, if it wasn't for that bottom rope and his uppercuts, I'd have gone down.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the bottom. I was sitting on the middle rope.
Really?
Yeah, fucking right I was. I remember he'd come at me with everything. He was one of them once he started fast. And the ref jumped in and stopped it. Which is another one I could have rode that out. Because his punches wasn't bothering me, but he could have got to me, to be fair. I'm not, like I said, take nothing away from anyone. But it was very early on, I think it was first round. He threw everything at me, and the ref jumped in and stopped it, which I was annoyed with. Happened a few times. But yeah, I was kind of sagged on the rope, sitting on the second rope, and my body was trying to slump down, but his uppercuts were knocking me back up. So I was kind of back on the second rope, then fucking uppercuts, and then backwards and forwards, and his punches. You know,
Sounds like a Popeye sketch.
It was a Popeye sketch. That's exactly what it was. An absolute Popeye sketch. So, and he was a good lad. I watched him a few times.
Yeah, I used to
fight since.
Yeah.
Irish, I don't know if he was an international or something, but he was he was good.
He was good.
That was on a Cello Render undercard. It was a dinner show. And I mentioned Cello a couple of times. One of the most heavy-handed lads I've ever sparred. Real heavy-handed lad. He's got that show reel knockdown with Paul Samuels.
Yes,
it's always on a question of sport. The two left hooks and they both drop. Brilliant. I remember walking into a gym years ago. We had an old gym. It was like an old mechanics yard thing. It's where Eastside Amateur Boxing Club was. And I remember walking in there and I was thinking, it's like the scene in Kickboxer in tongue pose, kicking the post. Boom. I was thinking, what the fuck is that noise? I thought someone was pile driving outside. You know, someone was doing groundwork, so it was a machine or something. I went in there and it was just Cello casually jabbing the bag. Boom. Boom. I was thinking, Jesus Christ. The next thing, John's like, sparring gear on, Paddy, you're sparring with Cello. I thought, oh, fuck. Here we go. But real nice guy, Cello. Shout out to Cello.
You were the Peterborough Sportsman of the Year, weren't he?
Yes. Yeah, and he was on the show when I fought JJ Bird, and I think he fought that, was it Tyan, what's his fucking name? No, that's Tyrone. No, it's Tyan Booth.
Yes,
and he split his eye. The nastiest headbutt you'd ever seen. It was either that one or my fight against Danny Aarons, and it was the nastiest split you'd ever seen. And I think they disqualified Tyan for that. They may have. No, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. I don't know if they took his license or they did something or something like that, but it was a nasty cut.
Yeah.
Real nasty. I don't know if the board had something to do with that. But yeah, I remember what a fucking state of his face. Cello's face was a mess.
Yeah, he was in some wars, wasn't he?
Cello was, yeah. But, you know, him and Max Maxwell boxed in the prize fighter. And I've seen them two go at it in sparring. And you could just, you stop what you're doing and you watch spars like that, you know. Like, shout out to Max as well. He's he's a decent prospect, and then he just went on to be road warrior. He just wanted to earn he just wanted to earn. You know, in his last few years of pro boxing, he fought everyone. I think he fought Junior Witter. He fought a couple of big lumps who put it on him, and he stopped them. You know, and they were like, that weren't in the script. But Max was like, well, I'm here to make the numbers up, not to fucking get to war. And if you try and send me to war, you know. So Max sent some of these fellas out on their shield, which was good. Fair play to Max. Yeah, I love shit like that.
He'll be on the show at some point.
Hope so.
So you can
he only lives down the road, Max.
Oh, does he?
Well, he used to live down the road from where I grew up. I'm not sure where he lives now. No, I think he's got a gym.
He has got a gym because he wants to come.
He's got a gym. Is it in Loughborough?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember where he's all Stoke, maybe. I forget now. He's good. Anyway.
But we know we have to set up camp over here, mate. There's that many and you're over here.
Max, what a fighter.
So let's follow on that one, mate. We're a nice points victory over Jerry Brady, mate.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day. In fact, Jerry, we spoke on Facebook a couple of times. He told me his nose still isn't the same. Ken Buchanan's son, Ray Buchanan, did a write-up for it. It was in Scotland. I think it was a Monday night dinner show. John Pick said, got a fight for you in Scotland, you want it? I said, yeah. So we drove up there. I was with Nesbitt. It was me and Nesbitt. I think the other fighter was. I think it was Kev McCauley. It was Kev
Quality.
McCauley. Them pair were both outside having a fag, and I'm sitting in the change room. I was like, "Where they got to come in?" And I smell the fags. I'm thinking, "Fucking hell!" What's it? Fair play to them. Anyway, it was a toss up between Jason Nesbitt. There was Jerry Brady and his brother. One come to fight, and the other one was a boxer. John Pegg says, we'll have the one that fights, Jerry, and let Nesbitt have the boxer, because I always struggle against boxers. Do you know what I mean? If they're going to come to me, like Matt Doyle did, or like, some of the others did, like, I could stand there and have a bit of a scrap with them. I ain't going to go looking for them. So I ended up fighting the boxer, Jerry Brady. Anyway, the bell goes, and he comes at me, southpaw stance. I remember taking a step back, looking at John, I went, southpaw. And he went, just go on. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even know it was anyway. We stood in the centre of the ring and battered each other. Again, he was the better technical boxer. I weren't having none of it. And we fucking battered each other. The end of the fifth round, I went back to my corner, sat down on my stool, a bit of water, and I just jumped back up. Come on, fucking ready. I was in the middle of the ring waiting for him for like a good 30 seconds. I was up for it. I was up for this one. And I beat him on points in Scotland, which is unheard of.
Yes.
Unheard of. John Pegg was talking. In fact, I spoke to John yesterday about some acting thing. Like they want me to help, just doing some backstage work. Because John does small, short movies, small films. He's a director, does writes films and bits and pieces. I don't know the correct terminology, John. Sorry, but I can't remember what I was saying now. I lost my mind.
Well, you got the victory, didn't you,
That's
mate?
it. Oh, yeah. And he was saying to me about one of his fighters was out in Poland, I think he was, fighting someone, got a points lost, but he made a really good account of himself. And I said, well, at least I got a points win in Scotland. And even John said then, he said, it's unheard of. Do you know what I mean? That never happened, especially for a journeyman. If it was two prospects fighting, obviously one's got to win, one's got to lose, isn't it? But for a journeyman to win on points in Scotland, for anyone to win on points in Scotland as a away fighter was unreal. But I really did a number on him, to be fair. The blood, I was covered in his blood. My shorts were white at the time. I had like a Union Jack on one side, Ireland on the other, but they were mainly white. Just had like a little trim either side. Fucking hell, they were covered in blood. His shorts were covered. Yeah. His nose was a mess. But he kept going to the final bell, hard as nails. They're rough in Scotland, you know what I mean? And Jerry Brady, spoke to him since, nice kid.
Been a cracking interview, mate. I could listen to you all day, but should we go to your final fight, mate?
Yeah.
Against, lost on points against Rob Hunt.
Now, physically and mentally, I shouldn't have been fighting.
Yeah.
100%. Like, you know, the drink had got me. And this kid weren't a puncher. He weren't a puncher at all. And I just kind of went out there and I thought, oh, it's just another payday, just whatever. And
You feel a bit emotional.
yeah, do
Yeah,
you
I
know
can
what?
tell
It's,
just looking at you, mate, for this.
It's a little bit, I don't know, like not like I've let myself down, but I should have beat this kid. To be not should have, but I should have a better account of myself. A couple of times I'd been to a few shows and the board, I'd have a couple of points, and I'd go and talk to the board officials. How you doing? You all right? And secretly, they were having a good look at me, knowing, and they knew that I wasn't right. They knew the drink had got me, and that sort of thing. Anyway, I was fighting his Rob Hunt. He wasn't a puncher at all. He was tall. He was rangy, and he put me on my arse. And when I was down there, I knew. I thought.
Is that when you decided then?
At
that moment?
I thought that's it, you know.
But that's sad, mate.
It is sad, really, because, you know, I had a boxer, but, you know, he meant a lot to me at the time, you know, and especially me being a bit, I don't like anyone telling me what to do. And I knew they were going to take my licence.
It must have been sad, that. Yeah.
So, I think after that one, I knew I was done, and I thought, oh, fuck it anyway. And then that's when the drink and drugs kind of got me. Then not so much with the drugs. I say that a lot, drink and drugs. No, the drink had got me already, and I was drinking every day. I was drinking on the way home from work. Driving was the one, and you know, I'd take the kids to the park, and there'd be bottles under the pushchair, be clinking down the park, and you know what I mean. It'd be like,
Yeah.
it was obvious what I was doing. Like, what the fuck? And but yeah, it's it's been a long career. Do you know what I mean? It was a long, tricky one. But then I remember once I took my licence, I tried to get it. I had a couple of unlicensed fights, and I knuckled down. I tried to get the love back for it and stuff like that, and I just couldn't get it back. I had a couple of wins in the unlicensed. Couldn't get it back. Just couldn't be arsed. You know, I got to about 11 stone. I beat this kid. You know, he was like a journeyman on the circuit, on the unlicensed circuit, and he was a tough kid. He was from over, I think he was from Leeds way as well. Had some good results in Leeds. And but it just weren't there. But I thought, you know what, it shouldn't have been there anyway. I've had 3 years as a boxer. I don't know fucking boxer, do you know what I mean? So it just done me head in, because I knew that I didn't want to, you know, I didn't want anyone telling me to, you know, I didn't want anyone to take my licence, so I retired.
Yeah.
I took it off myself, and then Len retired as well. And I remember Sam got some. Sam was fighting at the Tower Ballroom in Birmingham, and I got in the ring after Sam's fight, and awarded Lenny with his retirement gift and card, and everyone had a little whip round and that. So that was kind of nice to share that with Len at the end, and that was kind of it really. That was my pro career over.
Did you get anything for finishing, mate?
I got 2010 best supporting boxer.
Good lad.
Best loser. Best supporting boxer. That was so I was pleased with that. Accolade. And Ryan Clark had won one as well.
Yeah.
The year before. So that was, I think, he might have won that in 2009, and then I won mine in 2010, or he won his in 2010. I won mine in 2011. And we was like, yeah, we're going to fight over it in the car park or something, like, you know, a bit of banter on Facebook, whatever. But he disappeared. I don't even know what happened to him. He had a fight against Jermaine Smale, and then I think he fought John Joe Finnegan in that ill-fated fight, and he kind of disappeared then. You know, he come off his socials and things like that. I'm not sure if it was for that reason. Shout out to John Joe Finnegan as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was for that reason, but yeah, he just kind of disappeared. But yeah, good lad, Ryan. I think he had the most fights in the world 1 year.
Yeah.
In the world, I think it was kind of... But then, yeah, sorry, get back to me. I had to talk about me for a bit. When we got to... when I retired, it was I got nominated for Midlands Fight of the Year for my fight against Spence. And here we go. Yeah, these two names again keep popping up. It was Max Maxwell versus Jason. Oh, what's his name? Jason Wellborn. Sorry, Jason. Yeah, Max Maxwell versus Jason Wellborn. That was on the same night as my retirement fight. That was September 7th and 2013. So that got nominated. mine and Spence's fight got nominated for Midlands Fight of the Year, and Danny Butler versus Cello Renda got nominated for Fight of the Year. Max Maxwell, Jason Wellborn won, and quite right so. It was an absolute war. And I got a British Boxing Board of Control tankard and 3 pints of Polish lager, Tyskie, from the boxing board. I think Les Potts bought me the Tyskie, to be honest.
Good lad.
Shout out to Les and his wife Suzanne. And I got a boxing tankard for me 50.
Oh, great.
And of course, so it was no secret that they all knew that I like to drink. Do you know what I mean? So it was time. Yeah. It was certainly time to give up. And I tried to get the love back for it and things like that. And I just couldn't be fucking bothered. And I remember that was in September. So then the Christmas come, and I got a phone call out of the blue from a promoter saying, "Do you fancy fighting on this unlicensed show at the Holiday Inn?" I'd had a couple of good fights there. And I was just finishing my can and finishing my pizza, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? So that was like my stable diet. That was like, pizza and booze. And my wife at the time was going, "No, I don't want you fighting, you've give up, I don't want you doing it no more." And I ended up doing this fight, and I remember breaking both of his hands on my head. He was going, "I ain't fighting you, you're an ex-pro, this and that." And I says, "Oh, don't worry about it, just don't wake me up." Do you know what I mean? So sometimes if they woke me up a little bit, I'd be happy just to coast to a points loss. I wouldn't give a shit. But if they tried to take the piss, take my head off, I'd lose my head and I'd start fighting back a bit harder. And anyway, I was right in front of this kid for him to punch, and he was trying to take my head off. He ended up breaking both his hands. So even though I got the points loss, I still took that one as a win.
Good lad.
And then it just kind of went from there then. And I got another phone call from another promoter, unlicensed. "Got a fight for you if you want it, Paddy. Saw you fight if you fancy." And I ended up going on to have another 150, 200 unlicensed fights over the next few years. So never really sold tickets for them, just turn up, fight, go home, young prospects. Some of them are better than some of the pros that I'd fought, to be fair. But my style never changed. I used to fight with my face, used to fight with my forehead, hands on my chin, elbows in, show me forehead, punch away. If they broke their hands, great. Do you know what I mean? And then I'd have a couple of cans and I can go home, or have a couple of drink drive to the venue. I've done it a few times. Drank drive to the venue. Drank in my corner. I've done before now.
Really?
Yeah. Drank on the way home. Nonsense, absolute nonsense, But I have a few fights now that I'm sober and I enjoy it now. It's a hobby for me. It's not. To be fair, it was a hobby anyway that I got paid for, and now it's no more or less than just a hobby. It's a bit of fun. It's nice to feel a bit relevant. Do you know what I mean? But some of these young lads that, the promoter will say to me, they're knocking people out in sparring, or people don't want to spar them, or people don't want to fight them. Any chance we can use you for a few rounds? I'm like, yeah, of course, no problem. Sometimes they're a bit heavier, sometimes, but they're not very good. Sometimes they're a little bit lighter and they're sharp as fuck. But I've never had any trouble in the unlicensed game. That's my level. Do you know what I mean? If I've got a level, that's my level. Pro boxing was too much for me. Too much for me mentally, physically,
Well, I think, to be honest with you, Paddy, mate, I mean, when you responded to me, I was over the moon, mate, to be quite honest. So, you know what I mean? If I'm on your side, mate, you must have done a good job.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
And, it's been a pleasure to meet you. And I think to have gone through what you've gone through and have 3 years in the sport and get 50 fights up with some quality fighters, I'd just like to say thank you for that interview with me, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for coming. Long drive.
Hey, well, been an absolute pleasure, mate.
More than worth it.
Thank you very much for having us, Paddy. All the best, mate.
Thank you.
Nice one. Thank you.
The Journeyman Cave is produced by James Proud. Music by Ryan Carrier. Special thanks to Rhythm Inc. Studios for hosting. All views expressed are of the guests only. The Journeyman Cave and host bear no responsibility for any opinions given. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at The Journeyman Cave.
Moving on to that one as well, this one stood out in mine. A draw against Chris Jenkinson.
Chris Jenkinson? I never boxed him.
Right. Have I got that one wrote down wrong then?
Yeah.
Cut that one out.
Yeah, didn't box him.
No, I've wrote that one. That's when our George got super glue on his bloody fingers. And I've gone to the wrong bloody thingy, haven't I?
Yeah.